there are a lot of pockets of conflict areas, call them flashpoints. Of late, Buhari came on board, and we are seeing a situation where you are actually notching one head up and 6 more are springing up. And the reason is simply because we have not been able to handle situations in ways that will put the fear of God in the perpetrators. So you see, the way we handle situations makes the perpetrators both active and future aspiring, bolder. Yes, that's what is happening in Buhari. They've just become bolder and are taking a cue from what happened in Benue. If Benue had gone the way the Russians did with the terrorists who dared to take their cinema, that line of doing things become a no-no.
It is wrong for me to sit down here and begin to tell you that this problem has always been there. That is an excuse, and we will not take that excuse. People are dying. We must find a solution to it. So in answering any question regarding the herdsmen crisis, what I prefer to talk about is the steps we have taken that have never been taken before. The efforts that have been put in place that have never been done before to curtail this crisis. It is true, but like I said, I don't want to go to that extent. It is true that this problem has been with us. It is true that people have died before. And it is true that there's a political dimension to it now where people are playing up the issues because you have a Fulani president. So that's the political side of the herdsmen crisis now. They think that because we have a Fulani president and predominantly you have herdsmen who are Fulani men, they are using it against the president. But like I said, that is not where I want to go. What are they doing now to stem this crisis? The first conscious effort I think they are making, and for some of us who see the efforts being made, is to diffuse the tension that this is not an assault against a particular religion. We must get that clear before we even nip the actual crisis in the bud. We must get the narrative correctly so that it does not even escalate to another problem in this country. We must push it to the corner of criminality. We must push it to that corner, deal with it as pure criminality, and let it die as pure criminality. But in the process of dealing with it, if it escalates by some narratives to a Christian-Muslim crisis, to a North-South crisis, to even a tribal crisis between even certain groups in the Middle Belt, then we are getting it wrong. Because in this crisis, all shades of people from different persuasions, from different backgrounds have been killed. They have been killed. So I want to push the correct narrative, and people should see it in that light, that this is not an attack by herdsmen against Christians. This is not an attack by herdsmen against Muslims. This is not a particular tribe in the Middle Belt against another tribe in the Middle Belt. It is purely a historical and economic crisis, a crisis of, the struggle for economic space.
There are other areas which Nigerians are asking for attention, especially with the promise of the administration that they would ensure that no Nigerian will have a reason to go outside of the country for medical treatment. Unfortunately, there are pending issues such as insufficient infrastructure and system in the health sector.
And one key area would have been the issue of health, which it's also obvious now that the JSUIT, one of the unions in the health sector, is currently on strike. It's been on for a long time, and it appears the federal government is numb to that. We haven't seen deliberate steps being taken to address that strike.
Work is ongoing, the work of Nigeria, that is, and the president will always have his hands full. It's not an easy job to run a country. Anyway, that's all for now on Big Story. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Imi John Mekwa.